In my opinion, working with corporations is not a nice to have. It's not a negotiable. It's something that should be embedded into virtually every business model, but especially for those of us who are experts and who are teaching a thing. After speaking with dozens of people, I would say the number one reason why people don't go after these opportunities is strictly due to fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of rejection, fear of success. All of that boils down into this one plate. And it's great to share the tactics and strategies about how to get contracts. But if you can't get past the fear, there's no way that you're going to take anything that I implement, whether in this channel or even working with me, to move opportunities forward in your business. That is something that I have navigated through. It is not something that I feel I'm the master on and I can sit from the mountaintop and say, here's how you do this. It is something I walk through daily. In fact, it showed up for me today. So let's just have a little transparency moment. I changed the scenery for y'all because my son's downstairs doing a treatment. So I said, well, hey, let's move directions. It showed up for me today because I was having a conversation with the lead. This wasn't a corporate lead. This is my other side of my business where I work with individuals. And I had a split second moment. And I've been getting coaching and mentoring over the past, I think this is my third year, my second or third year with the mentor that I have. And she always talks about this identity piece and who you're being and how you're making decisions, right? And so one clear decision was a visible victory for me in that moment, because typically when it comes to, or in the past, in certain situations, when it's come to pricing, even with working with corporations, there is a moment where you think, should I give a lower price? Should I, share a different type of structure in terms of the payment and all of that? Or should I, what should I do? As cold as you may know your numbers and as much as you are confident in the work that you do, even the highest level people have a moment where they think, is this what I should be asking for? Is this structure, should I do it to get the deal? All these things like go through your mind in just little micro moments. I literally had this happen to me today. And the decision was, do I just state the full price or do I default to a monthly agreement? And I decided that this year, it's not about accommodating price points for people's budgets, right? There's a time and a season to do that. But for me, I know what it takes to get the result. And so I'm no longer willing to, one, continue to do smaller things. It's like, oh, well, you can help them get one step. That's great. But I know the breadth of what I do does not just happen in one instance, right? You can get educated, you can get illuminated, but you're not going to be transformed simply by doing one thing or having one conversation. In that regard, my decision making with my offers and how I'm working with people is going to be more comprehensive, and that is going to command a certain price point. As I shared that, and in that moment, I said, I just need to give him the pricing of what it's actually going to take to get it done. None of this monthly stuff, like this is just what it is. And then from there, we can talk about it. That shift seems so small, but it actually changed something inside of my design, inside of my pathways, my neural pathways, to show where we are moving forward to. The reason that I'm sharing this, one, is because I want to be open and transparent on my own journey. I don't sit behind the scenes and I'm just like, this is what it is and I got it all together. No, I walk through moments where I have to decide, and I've got my own mentoring to hold me accountable and give me the awareness of that so I can walk into it. And through that, I get to serve people better. Through me sharing this, I hope that it opens up your eyes to what are some areas where you have a micro decision. Maybe you are thinking about or having a conversation with a corporate decision maker. This is especially important if you feel like it's big them and it's little me. How are they going to see the value in what I have? Yeah, that those thoughts, those feelings can keep you from standing firm in what that paid in full pricing needs to be, or what that structure needs to be for them to get the result. And the confidence is going to sell that. If there's one thing that I've learned that it is key, the confidence will sell the opportunity. That learning in that instance helped me get aligned with what I truly want. Here's another thing. I hear a lot of people saying they want contracts, but nothing they're doing aligns with that. They're not speaking in the way to attract corporate clients. They're all over the place doing all these different things. They're not elevating themselves. They get information and don't execute on it. And going back to my earlier point, I know why. It's the fear. It's not, you don't need more steps. You don't need more strategies. You don't need more tactics, which is why I'm even looking at my content and how do I get out of that space? Because people who are just lurkers and watching, they're getting information but not doing anything with it. The real transformation is when you take the information, come closer, get the support to make it happen, right? We all know that. There's no secret. Me or anybody else that's lying to you and just saying, well, I shouldn't say lying. Me or anybody else who would be telling you that you can just take this information and be top person in whatever it is that they're telling you, it just doesn't sit well with me, right? Because why would I be doing, like, you have to question that. Why would I build a business around something that just gives the information away and you can get the transformation just from that? Just think about it. That's kind of silly, right? I could see if maybe you were just someone who, you have no business structure around this. You're just here to share information. You're not, you have another thing that you're working on that makes business for you. You're just sharing this out of the kindness of your heart to create content. Cool. That makes sense. But if you are consuming content from a business owner, it would make no sense for them to give you the information to transform without exchanging any currency. Why would you be in business? As a matter of fact, I don't even think you should work with someone like that, because do they actually have good business sense? That might be a question. Work with people who actually have good business sense, because if they don't, you give them your money, something happens, whatever the case may be. It just wouldn't make sense if that was all you needed, was the information. That being said, one of the things I'm being truthful about is this content, this information, these even tactics and strategies. I'm willing to share them so that you can see the pathway and recognize that in order to transform, it takes more. It is what it is. It's no need of sugarcoating. It's no need of trying to be like these people who are like, just give your information away. That's great. But some things, it just simply does not work like that. So having the tools and the skill sets and all of that do not substitute feelings of fear. Do not substitute the moments where you have that decision and you have no one to walk you through what the next steps should be. And this is not a commercial, even though I could do this. I could use my channel as a whole commercial for all of my services and all my things. Just like we watch TV and we see commercials every moment on different channels that are owned by platforms. This channel is owned by the Kirsten J. Allen Consulting Group platform. So it could be a commercial, every 5 minutes if we want it. But it is not so much of that, but just understanding the value in putting some skin in the game in your transformation. And not just with your financial resources, but with your time. I can't tell you how many people haven't even invested the time to get the true result. They're looking for overnight success. I talked about this on yesterday's video with the post and the young lady and I talking in the comments. It's like, we want people to know, like, it's not just put up a post and get a client. It's not just send one email and get a client. That's not how this works. It is a system and process to make it easier And for some people to make it possible, because they could send 1,000 emails and it still wouldn't work because there's a whole structure to it. But it's not a magic pill. It takes that devotion. It takes that consistency. And most importantly, it takes somebody being able to know and move you through the fear of it all. Have you to take the steps confidently. Because if you're watching this and you've watched any number of my videos or been in my world, maybe you're new, what's up? But if you've been in my world and you still don't have a contract yet, it is not because you don't know the steps, because I have given y'all, when I say you may not know it because you may not know the space as deeply as I do, but I've shared the keys. I've shared the steps. I've shared the process. And yet, how many people actually take it and move it forward into an opportunity? It is slim, depending on who actually takes it and moves the opportunities forward, gets through the fear, and starts to move to the transformation. That's what's most important. So I feel like this was just kind of a little ramble, not necessarily as structured as some of the other videos, but today I just thought I'd invite you into that micro moment that happened for me that caused the shift today. Like, be in alignment with what you say you want. Do the things that you said that you want this. Say the words that align with it. My mentor also called me out today. This is the last thing that I will call out as relates to my own personal growth and situations. But she said, do you actually want visibility, or are you tied to a story that people aren't seeing you? And maybe I'll do my video tomorrow will be on this, because this was a real transparent moment for me of how often I've tied to the storylines of people don't see me, people don't value me, people don't this, people don't that. And even though I may be saying something, those stories are still running in the background. So I'm going to simmer on that. And I think tomorrow's video is going to be my revelation about that, unless something else comes up. But my revelation about being tied to those old stories and how that inhibits the actions that I'm taking to align with the goal that I want. And what reframing, what new pathways need to be created, what needs to be constantly programmed into my mind so that those old stories are broken off, and what prayers do I need to be praying? That's the first thing. So those things can be broken off and I step into alignment with what I'm called to do, which is to create more visibility. All right. See y'all tomorrow. I don't know where I'm going to be. I might be back at the desk. We'll see. And drop a comment below. Make sure you subscribe. Drop a comment below if anything during this video stood out for you. If this helped you, even just saying that someone understands the fear, and that even someone who's created a level of success still in conversations has to navigate where to go, what to do. Am I going to align? Am I going to step up or not? Still those micro moments, even after selling millions. Way more, even after giving quotes for way more than $15,000. Still, do I say this? Do I say that? Realigning. I just realized in this moment, I said those numbers without any pause before. Let me go back and grab that person and bring her into this situation and stand firm in that, and let the world shift to match what it is that I believe to be true and what my standard is. And that's all a part of mentorship. That's a part of making the investment, getting the transformation, is learning those things for yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. Check the description for all the things and be sure to subscribe. Check out this next video.